Previously on Service Call, Cam was working on Garth's equipment.
That smell again.
Which includes the final drive on his paver. He pulled the cylinder and control valves off the loader, diagnosed a faulty ECM, and more. What can Cam not do? Cam can do it all.
Big brain.
And back down under,
engine out.
Mike removed and started the rebuild on the John Deere 180G engine. You're watching Service Call.
Flex.
Hey, welcome to part 2. This video is produced by Tekamo and proudly sponsored by Fortis HD, your one-stop shop for all your heavy equipment parts. Whether you like to buy online, call us or message us, we'll help you out. Throughout this video, you're going to see the mechanics using different tools, including stubby impact wrenches, carbide scrapers, regular scrapers, magnetic pickup tools, wrench extenders, and more.
Oh, nice. That went easy. Went easy because of this.
All of which you can find at fortishd.com, which will be linked in the description. And for all you Canadians, they are now available for the month of November as a pre-order for delivery in the future.
What are we doing? We're gonna pull this filter since we found some material in that valve that wasn't supposed to be in there. We're gonna pull this filter out and see how much we got in the filter. We're gonna cut it open. Just dump that out. Let me filter it back on. These style of transmission and hydraulic filters, I don't normally recommend using a filter wrench to tighten them, to tighten filters in general, but these, I don't mind. Let's go. Number one diagnostic tool. Now, ooh, I just got poked in the bean. In the weenus. And we're gonna slice our filter open. Our $300 can opener. Don't be cutting open filters with a grinder. And we're doing this because of the material, like I said, we found in the valve. I'm not sure how much we're gonna find in here, but we'll take a look and see. For now, I'll just put this off to the side. I just like to see if there's any big chonguses. All right, so I can see some filings there. You see them? Just a little bit of some sparkle dust kitties there. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Like, I can see it. I almost guarantee it that they're steel. We're gonna cut the filter now itself, so I'll show you the right way we do that. Get your knife, extend it all the way and just go to town. Take a good chunk off. You can already see here, here, inside the pleat. Squeeze it. Now, this in here. This is a nice clean Zorby. Let it all pour off. Okay, now watch. Now we take this, can actually see a little better. That's the one spot we were looking at before. It's actually not terrible, honestly. I was expecting worse, so that's good. And that's how you cut a filter open for inspection. Yeah, so that's not terrible, that's good. We'll see how the cylinder comes back when they send it to a local cylinder shop. And we'll take a look. That was what I was more concerned about, was if the cylinder had scuffed and left some material in there and then it made its way to that hand valve. But it doesn't appear that way, which is good.
Back over to Mitchell Island. The newly rebuilt engine is ready to be thrown in. Things come up, and Mike wasn't available to reinstall the engine because he's in Mexico. But that's the power of the Tekamo network. Cam came in clutch and sent his guys to complete the reinstall while Mike was unavailable. While we were there, we noticed some leaking cylinders. The client was notified and we got the go-ahead to get that fixed. Back to camp.
We're in the shop now. Gonna start ripping apart this valve and inspecting it, seeing what we need to order up for parts. So we're gonna take this apart anyways because it was leaking. Gonna reseal it and clean it out. All the chambers and everything. There we go. Split her in half. Oh, we got some flakes in there. Yep, see that? Metal flakes. Oh, I've got to use my bendy boy. Wow. Now where did it come from? So that would explain some of the sticking. Man, these O-rings don't look bad. They're actually still soft and protruding. This is an end one because it doesn't have a hole in the back, but there's threads here so you can stack multiples. So you just get another one of these and just stack a few in line. So you could have like 3 or whatever auxiliary stacks if you needed to have more functions. That's the nice thing with valve slices versus like mono blocks. Okay, I'm gonna go pull this. Oh, these aren't even that tight. Yeah, that's pretty tight. What a Maybe I'll use my induction heater. So I'm assuming there's some Loctite on there or something. There we go, now it's going. Yeah, it's just red Loctite I'm on, so. There. Cartridges out. Look at that. The Mueller carbide scraper. Now they're still like pretty sharp. Like day one. Thank you, Andre, Michael, and Anne-Marie for hooking us up with these guys. Really happy with the product. Actually, I got a couple of buddies who've bought them already. Richard has them. He loves them. He sent me a message like, man, I love these things. I was like, yeah, dude, the cat's ass. Oh yeah, they're German, so cat's ass just means it's good. I don't know. There's lots of little flakies around here. See it? It's flakes, so we'll clean all the cartridges up too and reseal them. We gotta get all these backup rings, all these seals. All right, got that cleaned out. Looks good. Wally. Good enough. So with these little springs here, I'll just clean them out and try to get any material out of here. There's a little clip in here. When I pull that back, you see? I'm just gonna flush them because there's not really much to them. It's just a spring and two seats. Just gonna grab all my O-rings. I'm gonna bring a set with me of each. I think these are all the same, but I'm gonna grab a complete set from one and then a complete set from these cartridges. I'll just bring the seals and get them matched up. Oh, I'm gonna lay this out actually, because I think that would look cool. Like an exploded diagram. More for my reference anyways. Yeah, that's everything, yeah.
Back to Mikey.
So we got the engine installed in this machine here. We also did the stick cylinder and the bucket cylinder. So we're gonna go put those in, get it all back together. Yeah, I'll just throw a little grease in here and then a little pre-lube for any slide the pin through. But then we'll grease it afterwards anyways. Both holes. Check your grease fittings before you put them in. We're just gonna hook up the one more cylinder here, bleed the cylinders, and then pin them up, test the machine, run it up some more, put some more panels and guards to put back on, put the bucket back on, make sure it's all good to go. Greasy. Yuck. I'm gonna smell like the whole way home. We're just gonna do a quick fire up and then shut down. Just wanna make sure everything's kosher. So far so good. Get these cylinders in and on and away we go. No oil leaks. Ready to start putting panels on. This cord does nothing, so yes, we're not squishing it. Literally just a random house cable. More panels. Put installed. Perfect. Time to go do belly pans now. Hope I'm being squished. Got it. So far so good. Yeah, we're gonna run her up a little bit longer here. Let's get our hydraulic level proper and give her a go and make sure everything's good one last time before we leave. But so far everything's been, sounds nice and runs well. All right, well that wraps up this job for this one, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Stuff down in the comments of what you want to see. And if we get some more good jobs here, we'll try and bring you guys along. So, thanks again.
We're back at Arc doing our final drive rebuild. I got here way before you guys, so I've already been working for like 5 hours. The only thing I've done since I got here, like putting back together, was just the brakes. So we are back now that we got parts. So we should have everything we need, hopefully. We're gonna get back into it. Let's give you a quick rundown because I'm not gonna pull it all apart. So I'll pull this out. You can see a little better. This big kind of cone-shaped, funny-looking thing here with all the holes in it and the springs in it is your piston, right? So there's seals on the top and bottom of the piston, like on the actual housing side of it, not the piston side, but this oil port here ports oil in to the bottom of this piston here. And then the surface area on this side of the piston is greater than the other side, so the piston rises when you pressurize oil in there. Oil in, piston up. These springs are what cause it to lock the brake on. So they act against this plate. And the actual clutch packs, sorry, the actual brake parts themselves that do the stopping and grabbing are right here. So you have these steel discs here, and then you have like friction discs on the other side that lock into the housing. And when there's no pressure on them, they can slide between each other nicely. And then when they squeeze, they all lock in, right? When there's hydraulic pressure pushing the piston up, they're off. And there's just enough clearance there that they just slide. So the snap ring goes in this groove, and this gets pushed down to keep spring pressure on. But how are we gonna get that snap ring in there if it's, you know, I can't push those down. So we actually use bolts to draw in. That's why they got these holes here and corresponding holes on the piston that are tapped. They're threaded there. So you drop a bolt in, a Michael bolt in, and that just pulls the retainer against the piston, and then we can get our snap ring in. Make sense? Does that make sense? I don't care if it doesn't make sense. I'm not your teacher. Those aren't short. They got great personality. Dong. The bolt versus the bolt she tells you not to worry about. I don't get it. I don't understand.
What a lame joke, you guys.
All right, let's put our snap ring in. Make sure she's seated all the way. Now, we can start pulling our bolts out. Okay, all the bolts can come out now. So now we can pull out this guy. Let's pull that out. Flip this over. There we go. I'm just happy that I got a shop to work in right now. Pretty clean. It looks good. I mean, it's not like brand new, but it's fairly new.
And our threads look good, so that's nice, because that was one thing we were a little worried about.
Okay, we'll throw a cone on here. Bearing cone. So now we're doing the bearing in the housing. We'll set our bearings, torque them up, make sure our preload's where we want it, and we'll disassemble it, reinstall or install the new dual cone seal set, and then reassemble it. We don't put the dual cone in now, you won't get a good reading on your preload, right? So, yeah.
Take me all the way. Yeah, yeah.
All right, see you later, discs. Herniated discs. All right. Oh, this one's wrapped a little different. It's got a nice heavy bag. My Mad Max. Ah! You don't have to torque these, it's not critical. You just go about right.
Crazy train.
Okay. Gotta make sure they're all seated. Seated, not seated. Happy with that. Let's do it all in reverse now. And then we're gonna install the dual cone seals now. Well, you gotta check your preload, but you don't do that with your dual cones in there because you won't get an accurate reading. Remember that time I said that? Remember that time? Look at that. It'll come up. Oh yeah, it comes off nicely. We're cool guys doing cool guy things. And you can't come because you're not a cool guy. This dual cone doesn't sit very tight in here, but if you want a good dual cone seal installer, here's a part number for you. I mean, you can use any Zeus fastener tool, works pretty good, but I like the snap-on one just because I like spending money on for no reason. But it works good. Got a nice blunt blade. Flip her over and place her down gently. All right. Just cleaning the threads up on this nut. Remember when we had to mash the threads back, so. Who needs a machinist? Yeah. Oh. So funny. See how much harder it is once the dual cone's engaged. That's why I say you can't get an accurate rolling torque when the dual cones are in. Because say there was gappage in our bearings, like no preload on them, you wouldn't be able to feel that when you cinch that down and the dual cones are touching and pressing on each other. Now the tricky part. Okay, let's see if we can get this. Ah, it clicked. All right, bearings are in. The seals are in, dual cones are in. Everything's seated, torqued. We're gonna stake it and then start dropping planetaries in. Mueller staking tool. That is a thick steak they put in there. Maybe this will do it. It's an air hammer. Kind of works. That works. Yeah, you know what? That works fine. Yeah. Staked. I marked them, but no, that's not what I mean. The orientation, which way it go, you know? See, there's a radius there. It's a radius. That one's radiused, so it'll only fit properly one way. You could try the other way, but I don't think you'd get your snap rings on. So that's how it was obvious. I mean, you know, it's not like super obvious, I guess. Okay, we can drop our ring gear. Watch your fingers. Okay, this should just drop in. Saving one planetary at a time. You know what they say? Life is pain. Snap rings are directional too. Just so FYI. Snap rings are in. Okay, drop these in. A couple things to look at is how does the sun gear that meshes into the next look? Because sometimes they get chowdered here. They'll have a lot of wear. You'll be able to tell how much is actually worn away because the top of the tooth usually won't be meshing with anything. So it might be like the full size here, then a little thinner here, but you can see on this one where it starts to actually wear, right in that shiny part. This one's okay, it's worn, but we're not gonna be swapping it out for that amount of wear, because that'll more than last the life of the machine. These bearings on here, they don't have any radial play. They have axial play, which is okay. We're not worried about that. We're more worried about radial play, like right? And if the teeth were damaged further, or like excessively worn, we'd consider replacing that. But at this point, the bearings feel good. They're smooth. You know, there's no growling in here. There's no excessive play. Okay, let's drop this in. Just giving it a spin is a good way to tell if you got a timed gear set or not. Or we're not putting the sun gear in yet because it won't spin, because the brakes are in the bottom. You know what, I could do this. Just throw the sun gear in upside down. And it should do a full revolution. If it's timed, it won't. It'll probably barely even do one revolution if it's timed. Yeah, but that's it. Sun gear is a very important one actually to check for wear. This is gonna be the fastest spinning part inside of here, right? So these shafts here will start to strip. That's just because the motor drives that with a coupler. It's the first thing that gets driven. So that drives that, it's hammering back and forth. All right, you're gonna drop her in now. That's on. Planetary gear set. Final drive's not quite done, but close. Yeah. Cool. So we can put the motor back on and install it in our big dongle. Big dongle. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna drop it in. There we go. You see that? Like I just put a little pressure on the one side here and it just went. Lots of Loctite, lots. Flex. Sorry. Ooh, too quick. that's pretty much it. We are gonna give it a quick pressure test. Put it like 10, 15 PSI into one of these ports and just make sure nothing's leaking. And then it's just bolt it up and throw it in. It's never just, but you know, it's gonna be a bit to snake this into here. So that whole assembly has to kind of finagle into there. It looks easier, but it's not. Happy. The housing tested leak free. And now we're moving on to testing the brakes. The brake serpents can range from like 100 PSI, sometimes less, I guess, but I don't think I've ever come across some that are less than that. But from 100 PSI all the way up to like 600 PSI. That's it. 125, 130. Everything worked. She's leak free. Brake circuit's good. No drop in pressure. 125 held the whole time, so we're happy with that. Yeah, just putting lines on. It's easier to get them in first and then put that up because you can't get your hand in here very easy. That's good. Start coming in slowly and just watch that side there, Richard. Okay, turn that way, just a touch. Okay, straighten out. A little bit. Hold it there. Noses. Straight, okay, come in. Slowly. There we go. Okay, hold it there for a sec. There's no hoses. I just want to make sure nothing's getting pinched back here. I can see the holes now, so that's good. That's good. We can steer it from there. We can get a couple bolts hung now and put one on this corner. Okay, we can pull the forklift out. All right, Dan, you can pull out all the way. That's good. Then just go straight back. Credit to Dan and Richard for making my 2 hands 6 hands. They are actually the ones who removed this and had it ready for me on the bench, so it's kind of nice. You know, they saved me that time. So it was nice for them to help me put it back in because they knew how it came out. I'm gonna just finish bolting this up and then put the lines on. See, that's what an impact should sound like. Okay, get it on. I like this. One tool that can get all these. Happy. Look at that. Okay, hoses are on, and then I think we can fire that up and give it a quick run up. Go ahead.
Power up.
Yeah. Okay, yep, brake off. Okay. All right. You can shut it off. Brakes working. Okay, I'll just throw that track on, I guess, at this point. they all clicked. All right, everything's on for now. Final's in, hose is on, guards are in. Well, maybe the next time we'll see it is out in the field, I guess, when it's working. So there you go. So many tools in the way today.
Slappa, slappa, slappa.
Woo, baby, I feel fun. Everything's a hammer, okay? Shut up. I'm pretty much Neil deGrasse Tyson at this point with all my planetaries and sun gears. Here, let me interrupt you for a quick second. All right.
Pump up the jam. Pump it up. Pump the jams.
Coming soon to FortisHD.com, your Tekamo merch pack. I'll just use it for my own. There's a hat, there's a toque, there's a shirt, some other random stuff, my phone number.